Take over, Elon. Just take over.
It's been only a few days since we've learned the fate of America and that Trump will be back in the White House to serve a second Trump presidency.
As you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA.
Many people in America are breaking down over this fact, and some people are cheering and triumphant, including Elon Musk. I told you I choose not to get political, at least as far as my own opinions on this channel. However, I think it's incredibly important to talk about what the next 4 years might look like when it comes to space.
Elon Musk gave us his total endorsement. How good is that?
While it's too early to know for certain how things will play out, I think it's clear why Elon Musk voted for President Trump and decided to put so much support behind him, at least as far as space goes. In fact, if you've just looked at the past few years and you've been following the coverage of Starship, you'll know that there have been a lot of hang-ups and delays from the FAA, from Fish and Wildlife, even from the California Coastal Commission.
Are the reasons for this delay, which is, moving the launch back from what was previously communicated, are the reasons for the delay safety related?
Well, the first reason of delay was that SpaceX failed to provide an updated sonic boom analysis, so there was a 30-day delay due to that.
While we speculate how a Trump administration will affect space in the coming years, it's important to look back at the last 4, and it's clear the Biden administration has done certain things that have hindered SpaceX. I'll give you 4 examples. First off, the FAA. SpaceX has criticized the FAA for systematic challenges in launch licensing and claims the FAA dragged its heels on what the company considered minor changes. SpaceX recently filed a lawsuit against the FAA for regulatory overreach. Next, Fish and Wildlife. SpaceX has also had a tumultuous relationship with Fish and Wildlife. On more than one occasion, their Starship program has been held back due to further safety analyses needed and inefficiency in filing paperwork. Elon has commented in the past on how absurd it is that they can build a rocket faster than filing paperwork. Elon says twice SpaceX was forced to kidnap a seal and subject it to a strange experiment as part of regulatory compliance. Concerns over how sonic booms from Starship launches might affect seals led SpaceX to strap a seal to a board, put headphones on it, and play sonic boom sounds to monitor its distress levels. The experiment was conducted twice, and the seal reportedly stayed calm during both tests. Third, the DOJ. We can't forget the ridiculous attack from the Department of Justice that a U.S. judge blocked the DOJ from pursuing, which accused SpaceX of illegally refusing to hire refugees and asylum recipients. The Justice Department claims that from at least 2018 to 2022, the rocket and satellite company routinely discouraged asylum recipients and refugees from applying for jobs and refused to consider or hire them.
If you are dealing with a naturalized citizen or a resident alien that's got a green card or a U.S. born person, then you're good. Anyone else automatically causes all of the problems with the law. So when the U.S. Department of Justice says that, yes, SpaceX can hire refugees and other such foreign persons, and that the law says it doesn't prevent him from hiring, that's true. But what isn't true is they can't work on anything having to do with the physical process or the design or anything having to do with the rocket. Since that is pretty much everything the company does, it's forced by law, by legal penalty, $1 million a pop, 20 years a pop for everyone involved for not using a foreign person. So to say that SpaceX is discriminating against asylees or refugees is disingenuous at best and an outright lie for most people.
And Elon confirmed U.S. law requires at least a green card to be hired at SpaceX, as rockets are advanced weapons technology. And finally, we had the blatant discrimination by the California Coastal Commission, unwilling to increase the launch rate at Vandenberg, citing Elon's political backing of Trump as a cause for concern. By the way, the CCC situation is much worse than I previously thought, and I will be expanding upon that in my next video dedicated to addressing the government lawfare against SpaceX. and expect a bombshell.
It's hard to believe that almost a month ago, SpaceX was able to catch the Starship booster with the Mechazilla or chopstick arms. I've asked so many people over the years, space nerds in fact, if they thought that this was possible, and a lot of people were skeptical, but SpaceX nailed it on the first try. No doubt this moment united a lot of us from around the world, and I think it's waking people up to what's going on in the space industry. You don't want to sleep on it. In fact, it seems more people are tuning into Ellie in space to follow what's going on, and I appreciate all 154,000 of you that are watching my channel. That's a lot of eyes on my channel, and with more exposure comes more people looking me up and maybe trying to get personal information that I don't want to share. Stuff like my phone number, my address, yeah, that stuff needs to stay private. But if you've Googled yourself before, maybe you've noticed that some websites try to share some of your personal information. Now, you can submit opt-out requests on your own, but this is a tedious business, and you constantly have to keep checking to make sure that they haven't re-uploaded your information, because sometimes they're sneaky like that. So I decided to hire someone to do this task for me to keep me safer online, and I've been working with Delete Me, the sponsor of this video, since February of this year. In fact, they just ran my 5th report for the year. And because they've been keeping on top of things, now when I Google myself, I'm not afraid of the results, and I'm not finding past addresses like I did once before. So check out my homepage. Since February, Delete Me has reviewed over 21,000 listings and found almost 100 of those data brokers had my personal information, which has since been removed and saved me a lot of time. So here's how it works. Delete Me submits removal requests from data brokers where they found my information. The privacy report shows each of the brokers they've scanned, what they found, and what they're doing to remove my data. After they've submitted each opt-out, their privacy advisors go back and check each source again to make sure my information has been removed. Although all my listings on the removal list will disappear within a month, slower data brokers can take weeks to honor requests. That's why the membership is so beneficial, because as you can see, with 5 reports already this year, Delete Me runs reports throughout the year to stay on top of things. I personally trust Delete Me, and I feel much more secure knowing that my personal info won't be subject to threats of harassing, stalking, or identity theft. You can get 20% off Delete Me US consumer plans when you go to joindeleteme.com/Ellie20 and use promo code Ellie20 at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/Ellie20, code Ellie20.
I believe that Elon Musk decided to go dark MAGA and all in on Trump for many reasons, and one big reason is for space and for getting humans to Mars. It's been clear that Elon Musk and Donald Trump have been very close lately, and Elon might have some power in this new administration.
I watched that rocket. I was on the phone with a very important person that everybody in this room will know. I got to be careful with using his name. I like to be nice and careful, you know that. And then I decide, am I better off being careful or really entertaining people? And I usually decide on the side of entertainment, and then I have problems. Now I'm talking to this very powerful big guy. We're talking, bop, 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 and I have the screen on the television, and it's muted. Can't hear the sound. And I'm seeing this rocket 20 stories tall, something like that, massive. And it used to be white, beautiful, polished white, and now it's all brown from that like 1,000,000-degree temperature coming down, pouring down at 20,000 miles an hour, and it's pouring, and I see that thing is steaming and crazy, and the fire's all over the place, and I'm looking, and then I see the gantry, the big gantry, and I see the thing coming in and slowing down a little bit, but it's still going fast, and I tell this very important guy, listen, would you do me a favor? Hold it for a minute. I'm seeing, just hold it. Hold it. When you're leading in the polls and when you already were president, you can say that to important people. Just hold. So I take the phone, I put it down. The sad part is I never picked it up, I forgot. They'll say, he's cognitively imbalanced. He didn't pick up. These people, are they the worst? So I take the phone, I put it down, I say, just a second, I'm watching something that I don't believe. and I see that fire pouring on the bottom of the rocket and it's coming in sideways. I said, it's going to crash into the gantry. And then the fire goes on the left side and it pushes it over and it lands. And then those two big, beautiful arms, they grab it. I said, what the hell was that?
To make this video more interesting, I decided to reach out to two sources that I've interviewed in the past. I also thought that it would only be fair to talk to two different perspectives. Bill Carton is a liberal from Portland, Oregon. He's also a retired engineer and an avid SpaceX fan.
But I've been following Musk since Falcon 1, Flight 1. I said, this is special. This failure is easy to overcome. I've just been a space nut since the Vanguard program.
I also interviewed Trent Telenko, who is a retired U.S. DoD civil servant, to talk about the lawfare against SpaceX. So let's get into it.
Donald Trump wants to go to the moon. Let's be honest. He started a moon program in his first administration.
In just the past week, the New York Times reported that Elon has advised Trump to hire key employees from SpaceX into his administration, including at the Department of Defense. As Eric Berger points out from Ars Technica, this reflects the huge conflict of interest that Musk will face when it comes to space policy. His actions could significantly benefit SpaceX, of which he is the majority owner and has the final say in major decisions. So what Eric's getting at is that it is possible that the sitting chief executive of SpaceX, Elon Musk, could be our nation's most important advisor on space policy. Conflicts be damned, he says.
With Elon Musk, who endorsed us very powerfully. He's great.
A lot of people just don't understand how he could support Trump. And I think from a business perspective and from a furthering humanity perspective,
He was given no choice.
that's kind of the conclusion I've come at. And, you know, again, whether I like Trump or not, as far as space is concerned, I think that was the only option. Had the FAA not caused so many problems for SpaceX, the CCC now, maybe things would have been different, but it's just been years of being beat down and held back is what it kind of seems like.
Well, understand that what Elon is doing is fundamentally disrupting an existing amounts to a caste system around government contractors that were working for the federal government of the United States at cost plus. Right? Along comes Elon. He does a fixed price contract for a Cargo Dragon, and then for Dragon, the capsule, to get people to the space station. And not only does he do it for a price less than Boeing was given, all right, he thrives on less money on a fixed price contract. And it's been 10 years since he had his first reusable rocket landing. 10 years. Nobody has matched him. Not Falcon 9. I mean, no one has even come close. The Chinese have tried recently. Blue Origin, if they're lucky, will get it one rocket this year. Hopefully they'll land it on their barge the first time. You've got Relativity Space. You've got a number of other companies. But no one has got the secret sauce that Elon has with SpaceX in terms of young talent that wants to do big things. And this completely disruptive market force is hitting the system of rent seekers, contractors, and Congress is completely upsetting them. A lot of the congressmen that are mad at Elon, you're messing with our campaign contributions. We used to have this good relationship with Boeing. Now Boeing's going down in part because of you're destroying their space program by simply being so capable. And Elon is not quite the big political guy. At least he wasn't until now, because the people that were trying to protect their rent seeking and their campaign contributions gave him no choice. It was a really dumb move. But people that are looking at the short term, the money for the next quarter, Well, of course they're going to act that way. They're short-term thinkers. That's who they are. Elon, for better or for worse, is a long-term thinker. He's thinking, I want a multiplanetary species. I want it to happen. I want to do it myself. And I want to bring everything in our economy, in our technology, in our culture to support that goal. I mean, he is the Thomas Edison of the 21st century. If we, let him do his thing, I expect a huge increase in economic growth for this nation, United States, such that we haven't seen in 100 years.
So how will a Trump presidency affect NASA, more specifically the Artemis program? As we've seen challenges with the Artemis program, including a Bloomberg News headline recently, NASA's 100 billion moon mission is going nowhere. But could SLS and Artemis be canceled? Well, the Trump administration created Artemis 6 years ago, with the program's development centering around a moon, then Mars philosophy. NASA will send humans to the moon first, and then in the future, they will send humans to Mars. But Elon Musk has told Donald Trump it will be possible to send humans to Mars before the end of his term. In fact, he said it would be within 2 years that he thinks the first ships could be sent to Mars. Whether you believe this is possible or not, I don't think it's inconceivable that Trump would want to be associated with going to Mars. So could that mean that we would have Mars before the moon?
Elon saw what Trump did. Trump and Pence visited Falcon. I believe it's a Falcon Heavy launch. Maybe it was a crew launch in Florida. They both showed up, and for a while, Trump even asked NASA, while he was in his first term, how fast can we get to the moon? Can we get to the moon in 2 years? And then my name ends up on the program. My name ends up on the plaque, like Nixon's name is on the plaque on Apollo 11. So it was a vanity hope project for Donald Trump. And if that benefits Elon, that Trump's ego wants to get us back to the moon, or definitely on the way to Mars in 4 years, then yeah, that's good. It could be a memory or history books with a bunch of asterisks in it that it was Trump's administration that got us to Mars or got us back to the moon. It happened on his watch. The effort certainly didn't start on his watch. But
many people have supported the idea of canceling the SLS program completely. It's unclear what will happen with SLS, but there could be some major shakeups. Perhaps the most important shakeup in the space industry will likely be regulatory reform. Elon Musk is no stranger to government regulations and is in fact quite sick of them. He recently moved the headquarters of X as well as SpaceX out of California and into Texas. But the real hangup for Elon has been getting approval for Starship test flights and the many delays that he's faced due to FAA, Fish and Wildlife, and other agencies.
All I know is I watched that rocket come down. I never saw that. I thought I was watching a movie or something, a space age movie.
Having Trump in office will likely lead to a looser regulatory environment, and that should lead to more rapid progress in commercial space capabilities, more Starship launches, and a faster iteration process.
Money is simply a way for him to count. The most important thing for him is time, getting it done while he's still alive, getting so much done, getting the cultural and economic inertia such that no matter what he does by the end of his life, his vision will happen, is what he's trying to do. And people trying to slow him down are, for him, a threat to his vital interests. And, it's going to take a few election cycles for some people to work out, just get out of his way, let him do his thing, and try and take a little bit of the money as it goes by. I mean, that's going to be the easiest thing. But you've got to change a lot of people's minds before you get there. And I expect that Elon is going to be helping Trump and the Republicans in the next two election cycles, simply because it's in his economic and, more importantly, his visionary interests. And either you get out of the way or you're going to get run over. And, I hope he has a good security from now on.
Yeah. Do you think that having Trump in office will benefit the space industry?
In general, yes, it should. He's got Elon and SpaceX and Starlink and Starshield and so forth. There's a lot of defense related things that he could benefit by more contracts. He could benefit by more NASA money. NASA would benefit from more investment. If Trump's allowed to do a lot of the things that he hopes to do, then reducing FAA inertia and maybe not oversight. I think FAA definitely needs to look out for human safety. You don't want to launch things. Human safety. The environmental folks have to make sure the Texas and Boca Chica Beach turtles are saved. I think it was silly to make Elon go through the math to prove that a booster falling out of the sky wouldn't kill seals or whales or something, because we've been launching into the ocean, dropping boosters into the ocean for 60 years. So why bother now? So the Trump vision and the Elon vision align when it comes to lower regulation, smaller government, things like that. There's definitely a lot of California kind of regulations that Elon wanted to escape when he moved headquarters out of California.
Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment, and subscribe to Ellie in Space so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.